$1 billion for Immunogen. The deal will see AbbVie's entry into the commercial market for ovarian cancer with Immunogen's Elahir. The deal is expected to close in mid-2024. A split finish for Wall Street to wrap up a strong month. Dow Industrial soared 520. The S&P 500 rose 17. The Nasdaq dropped 32. I'm Bloomberg's Larry Koster from the California Deluxe Windows Money Desk, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
What is up? Everyone is from Tokyo. There's history everywhere if you know where to look. Join me Tuesdays and Thursdays on KNX News and learn what you didn't know you needed to know about the things that make LA so unique and amazing. It's LA in a Minute on TikTok and Instagram, right here on KNX News, 97.1 FM.
Brought to you by McKenna-Cars.com, with 9 dealerships in LA and Orange County.
Court Furniture Outlet's annual Black Friday event has been extended through Monday. You'll find everything you need to brighten up your home or make your workplace more comfortable. And everything is on sale at their lowest prices of the year. Court prices are always super low because they lease their furniture for use in model homes, movies and television, by home stagers and corporate offices. And when the furniture comes back, they sell it for pennies on the dollar. But now, during Court Furniture Outlet's Black Friday event, you'll save even more on all new and previously rented furniture. New sleeper sectionals with storage, regularly $8.99, now just $4.99. Sofas from $2.99, and cocktail tables from $29. Check out their mattress gallery. Twin mattress sets from $49. Queen and king sets from $99. Plus free headboard with every set. Hurry in while supplies last. Locations in Glendale and Central, in Corona at the 91 and McKinley, and Fountain Valley and Euclid in the 405. Check them out on Yelp or go to CourtFurnitureOutlet.com. That's CORT FurnitureOutlet.com.
Hi, my name is Regina, and as a teenager I was in the foster care system. My clothes were always old and never fit. One teacher actually asked me if I was homeless. Totally humiliating. But my sister Carmen's experience in foster care was different, thanks to Hope in a Suitcase. Hope in a Suitcase provided Carmen with a suitcase full of new clothes and shoes chosen by her. It was life-changing and truly empowering. Please go to hopeinaSuitcase.org to make a donation today. That's hopeinaSuitcase.org.
This is Jacob Emron. If you've been involved in a motorcycle accident, call 844-24-JACOB.
Old car giving you problems? Why not donate it? Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS today.
At 23, a local dog shelter is thankful for some reading rock stars. Heather Jordan's with our KNX Helpful Hot Heroes of the Week.
Sometimes there's nothing better than grabbing your favorite book, hanging with your best buddy, and reading to some puppies.
When we did it, lighted flip in the air. She was alright. I wish she was back at Jade Mountain so we could tell Sunny and Cameron and see their faces. What are you flopping all over the sky about? Mr. Aspen left. Nothing, Quigley said.
Theo Schwartz and CJ Standback read just like this nearly every week to dogs up for adoption at the Pasadena Humane Society.
Chapter 1. I don't want you to leave me here, Liz said. Her hit perfectly under her mother's wing as if the spot had shapen by the universe just for her.
The two 11-year-olds are part of the Reading Rovers volunteer program, and Theo explains how it works.
Basically, we go there to the kennel, and whatever book we have with us, we'll just read to the dogs for like 45 minutes to an hour.
Do you do this once a week, every couple days?
Almost every Tuesday.
Do you read stories about cats to the dogs?
I have one. Sometimes they'll bark, or sometimes they'll fall asleep. Sometimes they'll like just sit and look at us. Yeah.
CJ, how does this help the dogs that are waiting to be adopted?
They say reading to the dogs makes them happier and like feel like they're cared for and calm.
Oh, I bet it does a lot for them, and it probably makes them not feel lonely, and I know they probably can't talk to you, but I'm sure that some of them wag their tails when they see you.
Yeah.
Theo, tell me why you enjoy doing all this.
I really like reading, and I also just like dogs, and like walking through the kennel.
CJ, what about you?
I like dogs, and I kind of like reading, and I like the way the dogs look when they're really happy, and that makes me feel good, and I do it to make them more adoptable.
Our young heroes this week, 6th graders Theo Schwartz and CJ Standback, volunteering over at the Pasadena Humane Society. KNX Help on Honda Heroes are made possible only by your SoCal Honda dealers. Follow them on social media at SoCal Honda Dealers to see how the helpful Honda guys and gals in blue are surprising people with random acts of helpfulness. I'm Heather Jordan, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
9:25 now. Time for your traffic on KNX, and here is Tony Campos.
We still got this big alert going on the northbound 101. This is in between the pass and Pass Farm Boulevard. The left two lanes are still closed. They're doing an accident investigation, so those lanes will be closed until further notice. So we have had some backup. It's gotten a little better, but you do have about a half-mile of slowing as you head away from Highland Avenue. In the San Fernando Valley, we've got a pretty good drive. That's the only spot I'm seeing with a lot of South transport. It's southbound 170 is working in that right lane, but it's not causing any backup. We do have a couple of lanes closed on the south side to Santa Clarita, getting all past, starting past Calgro. They are still working the crash on the 710 South in Atlantic. This was the site of an injury crash involving a motorcycle, so they've got the left three lanes cleared off. All of the lanes are open. So you are getting by. Just expect a delay to road transit as southbound. And then on the eastbound 60 between Azusa Avenue and Nogales heading into Rowland Heights, they've got some bridge work going on, so that is causing some backup. Next report at 9:35 for the test defense 24-hour traffic center.
Staying chilly tonight, 40s and 50s, the overnight lows, and then for tomorrow, getting up into just the 60s. We'll be in the 70s this weekend and early next week with the return of the Santa Ana winds. Right now at El Segundo, 57 degrees, 52 in Mission Viejo, El Monte, 53, 927.
This is KNX News, 97.1 FM.
Prepare to save big during Cyber Week at Living Spaces, where you'll find our best deals in-store and online at livingspaces.com. Make over your home with sofas starting at $350 and dining sets as low as $250. You'll even find beds as low as $150. You can refresh your retreat. Best of all, get special financing for 60 months on any purchase with your good credit. And with free shipping as soon as next day, you'll get everything fast. Shop Cyber Week only at Living Spaces and livingspaces.com. Living Spaces.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff, so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-620-5898 to speak to an expert. That's 800-620-5898. Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Swire, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Valencia. Have you ever wondered how affordable a Mercedes-Benz could be? Stop in and check out our fresh inventory right now. There's a reason why we were voted best luxury car dealership in Santa Clarita for 4 straight years. Because whether you're in our neighborhood or Southern California, we'll do our very best to get you in the Mercedes-Benz you've always wanted. So stop in and see us here at Mercedes-Benz of Valencia. We're right in between the 5 and the 14 freeway, or check us out at mbzvalencia.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infection from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
California up. You know, that's what Gavin Newsom has done since he's been governor. He's the first governor to ever lose population. They actually, at one point, ran out of U-Hauls in the state of California because so many people were leaving. Of course, he's imposed restrictions on his own people while exempting himself from those restrictions and going to the French Laundry while his people were suffering. He led the country in school closures, locking kids out of school while he had his own kids in private school in person. Now, he's very good at spitting in sales. He's good at being slick and slippery. He'll tell a blizzard of lies to be able to try to mask the failures. But the reality is they have failed because of his leftist ideology. And the choice for America is this. What Biden and Harris and Newsom want to do is take the California model and do that nationally. In Florida, we showed that conservative principles work. Governor Newsom then spoke.
You want to bring us back to a pre-1960s world, America in reverse. You want to roll back hard-earned national rights on voting rights, on civil rights, on LGBTQ rights, on women's rights, not just access to abortion, but also access to contraception. You want to weaponize grievance. You are focusing on false separateness. You in particular, Ron, are on a banning binge, a cultural purge, intimidating and humiliating people you disagree with. You and President Trump are really trying to light democracy on fire.
And he addressed people leaving California.
The last 2 years, more Floridians going to California than Californians going to Florida.
I put up on
By the way, that's going to be fun to fact check, so we'll just start right there. California has no peers. California dominates. The size of 21 state populations combined. It's the fifth largest economy in the world. We dominate. Number one manufacturing state. We dominate in two-way trade and research and development.
Newsom made news in the debate by saying neither he nor DeSantis would be their party's nominee in 2024.
Israel-Hamas war. KNX connects you to the latest.
Israel's military says it has resumed combat as truce deadline expires, accusing Hamas of violating a ceasefire. This after a busload of Palestinian prisoners was welcomed home in the West Bank. The bus carrying 30 prisoners arrived Friday local time in the city of Ramallah, hours after Hamas militants released 8 Israeli hostages who had endured 8 weeks of captivity in the Gaza Strip. The exchanges had been taking place each night since last Friday as part of a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Earlier, Qatari sources expressed hopefulness about a deal. Chris Lipsday reports from Jerusalem there was a crucial sticking point.
There are growing concerns that Hamas is going to have a hard time reaching its end of the bargain because up until now it's been releasing women and children, but with the latest release of hostages, it doesn't have very many women and children left, which means that only men and soldiers, and it's made it very clear it does not want to release them unless Israel is willing to release all of its Palestinian prisoners.
And Israel says it has resumed combat in Gaza after the truce deadline expired moments ago. UCLA Middle East expert Ben Rand tells us that Hamas realizes its leverage dwindles as it releases more hostages.
Where it's headed is we probably will see a resumption of fighting sometime, unfortunately, within the next 3 to 4 days. And then it remains to be seen what the fate of the remaining hostages are. But Israeli leadership is committed to eliminating Hamas leadership, or at least removing them from Gaza. And until that objective is met, the fighting won't end.
He says the deadly Jerusalem bus stop attack also complicates efforts to release more hostages. Montana's attempt to ban TikTok runs into a federal court roadblock. CBS's Tom Foti reports the case will continue in the courts and TikTok remains available in Montana.
The opinion by U.S. District Judge Donald Malloy is mostly in agreement with arguments made by attorneys for TikTok, whose Chinese ownership has raised data security concerns. Montana's legislature was the first state to try to ban it. TikTok and some of its content creators contend the Montana ban violates free speech rights.
On the first day of the United Nations Climate Conference in Dubai, 200 nations agreed to create a loss and damage fund to help developing nations deal with the impacts of climate change. CBS's Ben Tracy has more.
The theory behind this is that wealthy nations would basically give money to poor developing nations to help them cover some of the costs that they're incurring because of the impacts of climate change. And the reason for that is that the wealthy nations in this world, the United States, the European Union, etc., have created most of the planet-warming emissions that have caused climate change, that are causing climate change. And these poor countries are disproportionately impacted by it.
The European Union has pledged $245 million to the fund. The United Arab Emirates $100 million, and the United States $17.5 million. 9:35 now. We'll get to check traffic on KNX. What's happening, Connie Campos?
Okay, so we got a similar again that's going to pass. This is the northbound 101 at Sonora Boulevard. That's the left two lanes that are shut down. And the backup's still pretty lengthy from just past Highland. This is for an accident investigation. So those left two lanes have been closed until further notice. Heading northbound on the 101 and connecting out of the 170, you might see some transport on the northbound 170 starting at Burbank Boulevard. They've got one lane that is closed. They're also working on the southbound side of the freeway as you're headed into North Hollywood. We've got a closure. This may affect your drive. The southbound side of the 405, the off-ramp to Ventura Boulevard is closed. So if you take that, the back will not be open until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. The crash in Compton on 710 south of Atlantic, looks like they're getting a handle on that. There is no further slowing. That's gotten much better. So they have had the left three lanes clear off, the other lanes open, but they might be in the process of getting that completely clear. That was an injury crash involving a motorcycle. And you do have some slowing on the southbound side of the 605. That's the Caltrans work that's happening from Tuolumne Boulevard to 405. They've got one lane closed for Caltrans work. Next report at 9:45. That's the 24-hour traffic center.
Well, tonight getting down to the 40s in some places. Mostly clear skies. Looking ahead to tomorrow, staying in the 60s once again. Sunny skies and northerly winds. Wind advisory is up for the Santa Cruz Valley and the 5 and 14 mountain corridors. Right now in New Orleans, 50s. It is 60 Redondo Beach, Riverside 56 at 9:37. A police shooting in the San Fernando Valley happened just after 2 o'clock this afternoon in front of a motel near the intersection of Laurel Canyon Boulevard and Santa Cruz Street in North Hollywood. Police say officers responded to a call about an assault with a deadly weapon and that the suspect was gathered on the inside of a business. When they got there, the suspect came out and officers tried to communicate with him. He had a tool that was a hammer on one side and a hatchet on the other. LAPD Captain Kelly Mooney says the man advanced on the officers.
Officers utilized various less lethal munitions to include our 40mm, beanbag, and teaser, all of which were ineffective. The suspect continued to advance on officers, and an officer-involved shooting occurred.
The man was transported to a hospital where he's in critical condition. No officers were injured. A suspect in custody after a man was murdered in an apparent follow-home robbery in San Dimas. Here's Pete Demetrio.
L.A. County Sheriff Robert Luna said detectives began working backwards from the garage where Nicholas Silverman was shot and killed as critical evidence began to pile up in a hurry.
Homicide detectives obtained surveillance footage that revealed the victim was likely followed home from an electronic vehicle charging station located in the 200 block of South Citrus Street in the city of West Covina. Homicide detectives were able to identify a vehicle of interest from surveillance footage that led to the identity of our suspect.
A license plate and a car description was entered into a database, and a car with that plate and description was stopped by the Beverly Hills Police. Santa Monica Boulevard and Rexford Drive. The man driving it, Jared Joseph Powell, was arrested. A gun seized in the car is now being analyzed to see if it can be tied to the crime, and other material found is also being evaluated. Detectives don't believe that Silverman's job as an IT person on the staff of the county chief executive officer had anything to do with the crime. For now, Jared Powell is subject to a no-bail hold on charges of robbery and murder. His first court appearance is set for Monday, December 4th. At the Hall of Justice, I'm Pete Demetrio, KNX News 97.1 FM.
Authorities are asking a judge to temporarily halt the ban on teaching certain topics in connection to schools. Here's Emily Valdez.